A lot of people don't want to call their shot or live a bigger life because then that becomes the new floor they got to live into.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a fascinating one. It's like, well, I don't want to create wealth because then I have to maintain that. And if I lose, then people will visually publicly see me rise and fall.
Yeah.
That holds a lot of people back.
I'm not afraid of the rise and fall because I've been in the bottom.
But it's the
but
judgment
holds people
around.
back.
Yes, 100%. And like for me, it was, what would my family say? Like, oh, you're too cool for us now? Why did you get that kind of car? I remember, dude, I got the car.
Especially Canadian.
You guys was the only McLaren in the province I lived in. And I used to have to go to Montreal to get serviced.
Wow.
And I remember the first time I had it for almost 2 weeks. I didn't want anybody to know. It was in the garage. I wasn't even sure how I was going to like be with it. That was really weird. And I remember the first time I wanted to go to the gym and drive it with my wife. We went and worked out every day, Renee, and she wouldn't come with me.
Why?
She took her car.
Why?
She didn't want to have to deal with what people were going to say.
Interesting.
So it's fascinating that like when people just kind of try on these ideas, like what would it mean to say, even a lot of my clients, I say, can you say I am ultra rich?
They can't say it.
Nope.
Why not?
I mean, everybody's got a personal story, but what does that mean? Why does saying the word ultra rich scare you, frustrate you, like the judgment? What is it? What does it mean to you? It's just words.
What do most ultra rich people say around why they can't own that they're uber wealthy by speaking about it?
I think there's a part of it that is, if I acknowledge it, then I'm different than other people and they don't want anybody to think that they think they're better.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm that way, man. I don't want anybody to think that because I drive a certain car or fly around in my jet that I think I'm better than you. Because you're the same way. Like we don't, right? The reason I don't wear a watch is because I don't like it to get in the way. I appreciate beautiful things in design.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm definitely, when I first got the McLaren, I was worried that people would treat me different. And guess what? They did.
They do. They look at you differently.
Dude,
but is it
I
a
remember
good thing?
It was awesome. I mean, I showed up, I went and did a talk at a rehab center. I'll tell you why. So I pull up to go, I do a lot of work with troubled youth, and every kid immediately, like they want to know what I have to say. Whereas before I'd show up in whatever car and then they'd be like, who is this guy? Isn't that fascinating? So, perception is reality. But yeah, people do treat you different. And sometimes if you are comfortable with it, you can use that to fast track conversations. And if you're not okay with it, then it can be a source of a lot of pain. And I think that's the mindset.
Who are the wealthiest people that you know that you respect based on how they live their life? And what are the things that they do that you respect the most about them?
Yeah, I'm going to say Gary Vee for sure.
I just interviewed him yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, Gary's...
What are the characteristics about the wealthy like Gary that you respect?
That he uses his money to create and to help other people. And I would aspire to always be that. And that's what it is. And I think that if you truly, it's like when people say, well, I don't need to be rich. And I'm like, cool, why don't you become rich? And then if you want to do good with it, then you can. Like, why wouldn't you accumulate the resources? If you think somebody else, the government, this other entrepreneur, this CEO isn't going to do right by having that money, go get it. And once you got it, decide what you want to do with it.
Right.
That's the way I think about it. So when I watch Gary, create his empire and then reinvest it into content and helping other people and running these big events and building companies to inspire entrepreneurship and help, and really like help other people around him become wealthy. I mean, we've seen Gary over the years make concessions for his career for other people.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, even the fact that he helped build his dad's wine shop. Like most people don't know this. He built it to 60 million. He owned none of it.
Yeah.
And was paying himself maybe 100K a year. Dude, I don't pay my CEOs 100K a year if they're generating 60 million a year.
Right.
Dude, that's not how the math works.
Sure.
So he inspires me just the way he shows up. I think Alex and Layla Hermosi, friends of ours, like they do the same thing. They're very much like, how do I use this to create more? How do I buy back my time? Like, because I really think it's about an experience and a leverage thing. Like, wealth should be an opportunity to live a more fully developed life, right? Like, I think the word empire, subtitle of my book, I believe an empire is a life of unlimited creation you never have to retire from. And I think everybody should want to aspire to do that.
Interesting.
Right? Just be a creator. That's why I talk a lot about artists and creators in the book. The book's really meant for people that are starting off, because I don't want them to get the wrong headspace for what it means to be successful. And I try to teach them how to value their time, the math behind it, the value of it, the worthiness. And then allow yourself to, if you have a desire to drive a supercar, don't tame it. If you have a desire to own a jet, don't tame it. There's nothing wrong with that. Live in a beautiful home. I think the number one thing you could ever do for somebody else is inspire them to live a bigger life. And you don't inspire people by playing small.
And to add to that, though, what is the difference between inspiring people and showing off?
It's the intent. Think about it. Money is an amplifier. That's it. It's not good or bad. It's like a fork. A fork can be used to hurt somebody. It can be used to nourish somebody. It's a tool. That's it. So some people buy the Rolex because they're trying to fill a hole that says, I'm not enough. Maybe this will make me feel worthy of that affection. Other people get it because they understand the history, and from a engineering point of view and a story, maybe if their grandfather had one, they want to wear it as a reminder of that. Or, and it could be like, this is the cool part, is that it's not necessarily the thing, it's the story behind the thing. Isn't that fun? Like, that's why I help people kind of rewrite their money stories. Because then if we say, okay, like I had a client, he was worth like, 50 million, and he couldn't bring himself to, he had a car he wanted to get. I think it was like the new Corvette, okay, the C8, brand new rear engine Corvette. And he couldn't bring himself, okay, guy's worth 50 million, car's like 100 and some thousand. And I said, why is that? And his mindset was always about, well, if I do that, then I'm taking away from something else I could help somebody with. And I said, cool, I totally honor that. I appreciate it. I said, but what if you got the car to help inspire other kids that were just like you? And I could see the light bulb. And he goes, oh. I said, so talk to me about what I saw the math click. And he goes, well, if I got the car, then I could use it for charity rallies, and I could do it. I could go to schools, and I could like go to car shows. And I go, now we're talking. See, if you have a thing, a house, and you don't host people there,
right?
You have a company, but you don't allow the resources to be leveraged by your team to do good. You have money, but you just try to hoard it and keep it in one spot and not use it to create experiences for yourself. That's where I think people get prisoner of money. And here's the thing, and I got this from one of my friends. I really like the way he framed it. He said, it doesn't matter how much money you have, 100,000 or 100 million. He said, if money is the primary decision, you make a decision, you're a prisoner. Said money needs to be a consideration, but it can't be the primary reason
why you do something, why you create something, make something, start a business. It has to be a consideration.
It has to be.
You can't just say, I want to do this, but I may make no money. You have to be thinking about the money as well. How much do you think about the money versus the impact when you're making a decision?
Exactly.
How much should you
I
weigh
think
them?
impact should be at least 50%. I think the money should almost be, let's not be wasteful, but I think we should listen to our heart and say, that's what I feel called to do. If you feel called to, charter a boat and invite all your friends on it to create a magical experience, I think that is a beautiful thing. And economically, it might make no sense. Calling my dad and sharing with him some of my travel stuff I'm doing, he for sure would go, wasteful, makes no sense. Why would you do that? But again, different mindset, right? He had a belief that money didn't grow on trees and there was a limited supply. I have a belief that to the level I'm creative and resourceful, it's unlimited.
Let's go. I
Dude,
like that.
But that's true because you've experienced it.
Yes.
Right? To the degree that I can create opportunities for people or feel a certain way, then all of a sudden I attract it into my life. Then I need to show up, and always, that's why the desire to help other people should be at least 50% of every decision, because it's actually a better way to live.
You mentioned money story. How does someone identify what their current money story is from their past? And then how do you rewrite your money story to create more abundance versus scarcity?
So good. That's a great question. So what I do with people is I ask them to sit down and say, as it pertains to money, being rich, and let's call it like being rich, what are all the negative beliefs that you have around that language? And really sit with that for 15 minutes. Don't move on it. Well, and I've had people say the craziest things, and crazy to me, but maybe obvious to a lot of people listening. The first one, I remember one time they said that rich people don't pay taxes. That's fascinating. And what
I paid a lot of taxes.
I'm
man.
like, dude, I know how much I write. And I want to pay taxes.
Yeah.
The more taxes I pay, it means that I've obviously created more wealth. Like I have no problem paying tax. I don't want to pay 1 penny more than I have to, but I have zero problem. And it's funny how that belief, well, what is that? Why does that matter to you? Well, I want to give a penny more to the government than I have to. Interesting. So you have an anger issue against your government that's stopping you from being wealthy because you don't want to pay more.
So you don't want to make more because you don't want to give more.
Dude, it's so fascinating, right? When people literally say like, well, I don't want more because I might make, if I'm wealthy or rich, my sister might be upset with me. Talk to me about that. Well, last time I got a raise and I told her, all of a sudden she didn't talk to me for 3 weeks because she thought I was better than her. That's interesting. Let's talk about that. So I always go to 3 questions when this stuff comes up. Number 1, is it true?
So first off, write off all the beliefs.
Write all the beliefs
on your money story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then for each one of them, the first question, is it true?
What if they believe it's true?
Well, is it really true is the follow-up. Is it true, comma, is it really true? Is there a scenario where that's not true? And for most people, if I say, is it really true? They're like, well, no, it's not really true. It's like, cool, let's start there. Second question is, what would need to be true for that not to be true? Because that's another great question. It's like, well, I don't want to pay taxes. Like, perfect. So what if you had a tax expert that specialized in making sure that you didn't pay a penny more to the government you had to? Would that solve the problem? Cool. Because again, it's not about overcoming that they don't believe it anymore. It's resolving the belief. So if I then found a firm that I knew would help me not pay the government 1 penny more, then I could push harder, right? Because again, people don't want to grow if they have a negative belief of achievement. So once we resolve that, then we move it forward. Now, the third question is, how old is that belief?
How long have you been thinking about it? Or how old are you when you came up with it?
When did that start?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I was 7, I was 10, I was 9.
I saw my dad, upset and he made a comment. And that stuck with me. Or my dad used to say that it's fascinating. He used to always say to me that it's not what you make, it's what you spend. Okay, which is good advice. On the surface, it's not what you make, it's what you spend. So you could make $1 million a year, but if you spend $1.1 million, then you're no worse off than somebody that didn't make any money. But what I took that and internalized it for my 20s. In my 20s, when I started in business, was every dollar was an expense I was taking it away from me. So think about the concept of buying back your time. My belief, if I spent $1, then I was taking away profit. So I tried to do as much as I could
to save.
Dude, I was making hundreds of thousands a year. And instead of investing in the business, I was constraining it. I was choking it from its potential because I wouldn't let $1 go if it wasn't absolutely necessary. And the challenge, if you understand business, is that it requires an investment. And what happens if you make good investments, you get a return on that investment. And if you get really good in business, then the more investments you make, like when I ask somebody how much do you pay for a customer? Well, I pay $10 a customer. Well, how much is that customer worth to you? $100. How quick do you get that $100? Within the first month. How many $10 bills do you want to trade for a $100 bill?
Right.
So what's your marketing budget? But originally they'll say, well, my budget's $10,000 a month. I go, no, it's unlimited to the degree that you get that $100 bill for every 10 that you put in. It took me 6 years of being in business and choking the potential of the business till I flipped the mindset of, oh no, it's not what you make. It's not what you keep. It's literally what's the return on the growth. Because the real value in a lot of businesses, yes, it's the profit, but even more importantly, it's what's the business worth to somebody else. Because to the degree that, and this is what I talk about in the book, to the degree that I can build a business that doesn't need me to grow and that it has predictable revenue, predictable profits, those two equations equals how much it's worth to somebody else. And this is what happened to me at 28 when my company got bought, my first company I sold. That was when the Flowtown? Spheric, even before that. That was the one that really set me up to then do a bunch of other stuff. But that's when I learned that, yes, you can't be not profitable, but at the same time, don't constrain the business from its potential growth, because if you can build a business that doesn't require you to run and is predictable profit, then it's going to be incredibly valuable to somebody else.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want more inspiring clips like this, make sure to click right here to subscribe and click right here to watch that next video that is specific to support you in your life.